Hi, Ted and I have been busy solving lots of mysteries recently, and we've got a little bit of time to tell you about one of the cases we've solved. This is Detective Ted and the case of the missing cookies.
There was a mystery at Edward's house. At night time, someone was creeping about. They chewed on cookies and nibbled at books. They left holes in slippers and Edward's old socks. The culprits came in the dead of night when everyone was tucked up tight. "There's nothing for it," Edward said. "I'll have to be Detective Ted. I'd better hurry, there's not much time. I must follow the clues and solve this crime." He followed a trail of cookie crumbs that led along the floor, past the big potted plant and the blue bathroom door. Then Ted saw a shape, a shadow lurking in the hall. It moved across the carpet, past the clock, along the wall. It wasn't a thief or a burglar at all. It was Sid, the hamster, creeping down the hall. "Help me, please, Detective Ted," he said. "Burglars have stolen my food and all the straw from my bed." Then, at the bottom of the stairs, there was rustling and giggling, followed by pitter-patter noises and long pink tails wiggling. Suddenly the kitchen door closed with a click. "Come on," said Detective Ted. "We've got to catch them quick." Ted stood on a chair and opened the kitchen door. "Come on, Sid," he said, and he grabbed him by the paw. There, in the kitchen, were 3 burglar rats who had snuck in the back door and tied up the cat. The greedy rats gobbled all the ice cream and jelly, then they rolled about laughing and rubbed their fat bellies. "We'll take the swag," they said, "away to our nest. Then we'll sneak back in later and steal the rest." Suddenly, in the hallway, there was a very loud bong as the rattly old clock shook and struck 1. Everyone jumped, even the rats. They looked round, startled, and said, "What was that?" Suddenly, Detective Ted slipped and his wooden chair wobbled. "Hold on," he said to Sid, but the chair rocked and toppled. In the kitchen, Ted slid and landed with a splat right in the middle of the packed burglar rats. "I'm Detective Ted," he cried. "You're under arrest. Hand over the loot and then clean up this mess." The rats looked at each other. Then they looked back at Ted. They fell about laughing, and then they said, "So you think you're a detective? You're not very cool. Don't mess with us, Teddy. You'll just look like a fool." "I'm not scared of you," said Ted, as he straightened his hat. "You're stealing things that aren't yours. You're bad burglar rats." The rats stopped their laughing. They held up their paws. Then they flashed their long teeth and their sharp, scratchy claws. "Oh dear," whispered Ted as he backed through the door. The rats crept towards him. Their shadows moved across the floor. Then something strange happened. It was amazing and weird. There was a gurgling sound and a monster appeared. It was covered in bristles and had a big, feathery head. It rolled one massive eyeball, lurched forward and said, "Eh!" "Ah!" shrieked the rats. They dashed this way and that. Then they darted and dived through the swinging cat flap. They scrambled and scurried and ran up the path. "Good riddance!" cried Ted. "And don't come back!" Detective Ted smiled. "Come out, Sid," he said. Sid chuckled and shook the feathered duster off his head. "Those rats were just cowards. They've run off. They've fled. We make a great team, you and me," said Sid to Detective Ted. There was a mess to clean up. They had to get on. Soon the morning would come and the night would be gone. So they untied the cat and turned off the lights. Then all trudged upstairs and said good night. Soon Sid was snoring, and so was the cat. Edward took off his cloak and his old-fashioned hat. Just for tonight there would be no more crime. That is, until Detective Ted was needed next time. Goodbye. See you soon.